Welcome everybody to the... What episode are we on?
116, good sir.
Oh my god, I can't even count that high. Alright, let's start this again. Here we go. Action. Welcome everybody to the 116th episode of the Geek Dad Report. The one show dedicated, formulated, specially created into bringing you guys all the nerd news that happened this week. And maybe even predict some stuff that's going to happen in the future. I, as always, am Brian West, the hostess with the mostest, and that beautiful man over there is Ryan Tomlinson, who has not yet been replaced by the Porg.
Yes, I'm. It'll be a sad day if that Porg does replace me. So, I'm just gonna say
that you were saved. Little did you know, I put an online Twitter poll out, and I asked everybody if you should be replaced by the Porg, and you won 51%. So it was a very slim margin.
Oof,
49% of people wanted you replaced with something that they don't even know what it is yet because they haven't seen the movie.
So was it 3 people out of the 5 that ended up voting?
Let's not talk about actual numbers. Let's look at the percents because that's really what matters.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forget that's how it works now these days. We don't look at the actuals.
Yeah, no one cares about the truth. It's just what what sounds best.
Yes.
Whatever. We're not going to talk about that. We could go on that topic forever. But we're going to talk about the news and fun things. But it's been a really shitty week for me,
it's
for
been
you,
a
for
super
America.
shitty week. It's been like a shitty 2 weeks for me.
Yeah, that's
but
true. Avoiding
I'll get over it.
Awful... we'll probably touch base a little bit tonight about the Las Vegas tragedy. Some of the news we have honestly centers around it, but we're not going to dwell on it. So do not change the channel. This is meant to be a fun week, but if me and Ryan
you don't want
to
listen to us just screaming and swearing for like an hour.
Well, if we seem down at all, sometimes it's hard to put on a happy face and just pretend like everything is always okay when terrible things happen. So. It was actually kind of hard this week to do my NFL show. It happened like the day after, and it was I was fired up, and I just was like, last thing on my mind was football. But anyway, but other than that, how was your week?
It's been very busy. So it's the whole new year in the government. So
as it is for corporations.
So it's just a lot of people. Nobody's trying to put out fires anymore because all the fires are pretty much they're just dumpster fires that are burning.
Yeah, there's no point. There's no point in even trying to fix it because it's done broken. Well, if it makes you feel any better, Ryan, it's not just the government sector. In the corporate sector of the company I work for, we got our annual first of the year. You guys all sucked ass last year, and you better do better this year or you're all going to be fired meeting. So that was...
Yeah.
It was really uplifting. I felt very inspired. Where are you going? What are you doing? Your face is completely cut off right now. You know that, right? There we go.
Well, I'm trying to
Do not forget,
adjust.
Ryan, I can replace you with this Porg if you don't get your shit together. Figure it out. What are you doing over there?
I'm balancing this on my knee.
You need to move it. Move it. There you go. Now you're on the screen. Sorry, everybody. We hate for you guys to see how the sausage is made, but Ryan still apparently does not have his office in order yet. He's still working out of the crack house. Wait, nice work.
This is the spare bedroom.
Also known as the crack house.
Well,
I'm going to get you a sign that says the crack room, and your kid's going to be like, Daddy, why is that called the crack room?
Say, Lincoln, why am I... Yeah.
Whatever. Well, you know what?
Whatever.
I have no news for kids either. I didn't have anything fun happen. It's all been shit. All of it. All week long. I bought Pirates of the Caribbean. I had to spend $1,000 on new tires.
Yeah, I had to buy... we have no furniture. Like, literally, we don't have a couch or chairs, coffee table, dining... So we have to go get, like, a dining room table set. And... we went to a couple furniture stores, and the best one we found is going to be $1,500 to $2,000 just for the table and chairs. Motherfucker! I liked it better when I was in college, and I just ate off a card table. Or
this
just
is the joys. See, this is the joys.
Just put the plates in your lap.
This is the joys of having to be
eat.
adults and do responsible things. When you're like, I spent $1,000 on fucking car tires.
Yeah.
And I didn't even get good ones. It's just, hey, every truck nowadays, I drive a Ford and it comes everything. You're like, ooh, when you buy it, you're thinking like, oh, those are pretty cool rims on that. Those are 18-inch rims. Those are nice. But you don't think about is, oh, that jacks the price up. If you get 17-inch rims, it's like $300 cheaper for tires.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Way better.
Whatever. Anyway, this isn't the old man get off my lawn segment, but
yeah,
but I did buy something fun this week that I will be reviewing later on the show. That is called that in the industry people is called a tease. Woo!
Yes. But you know what? Not a tease, Brian.
Me?
Well, yeah, we all know what's coming with you. It's just straight.
Zing! All right, whatever. What are we talking about? We're going to talk about news. We got some reviews. Yeah. We're going to talk about how gifted somebody is. Me?
Me? I'm the gifted one. I don't know what you're talking about.
You're the special one. I'm the gifted one. We've talked about this.
Brian.
What?
It was a
You're getting the double guns, Ryan.
Fulfilled conclusion that we were going to share the gifted.
We're going to talk about something very gifted. Ryan ruined my tease. God, the worst. Yes, that's also gifted. What else? Fuck you. Why are you trying to derail the show all the time? Trying to be professional here. What else are we going to do? We got questions from the Faithful 50. We got recommendations, and that's about it. But we're going to have a good old time. Yeah. So thank you, as always, for joining us. And hopefully you're going to get your money's worth tonight, which, considering you spent $0, I fucking guarantee you're going to get at least $0 worth of entertainment.
And don't forget that we're going to have a bonus episode this week for people. Yeah.
Forgot about that.
We got a craptastic coming.
Yeah, we're gonna review something that could be so bad that it might not even be humanly bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's terrible. We're reviewing the Inhumans. Oh, wait, stay for that. You're gonna want to hear it. Yeah, shut up.
Yeah,
wake up, Ryan.
Stay
we're
awake.
doing a review. Quit moving your goddamn camera.
I can't.
You're making
I'm sitting
me fucking drunk, and everyone who's watching is losing half your face.
Oh,
all right,
I'm
here.
Sitting on a mattress, dude.
Did you get the porg I sent you? You can just talk for the porg. The porg will stand there and look cute and not move. All right.
I should have just found a chair.
Sorry, everyone. Bootleg comedy. This is what you get with you bootleg entertainment. All right, moving on. Ryan, I think it's time for Ninja News. What do you think?
Yes. Let's start off with something else.
Yeah, let's. You know what? I'm tired of all this crap. I'm tired of bad news. I'm tired of all this sad news. So let's talk about something incredibly fucking sad. People, quit dying. All right, Tom Petty left us this week at the very young age of 66. That is not old at all.
I did not think he was. I don't know why I thought he was younger, but.
I knew he was older, but I mean, he was a product of the 70s, which would put him in the in his 60s. But I mean, cardiac arrest. He was found. Now there is a little bit of a kind of funny story involving, as funny as it can be, involving dying. So they found him.
Too many people jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, they found Tom Petty in full cardiac arrest in the morning, and then people immediately reported that they'd found him dead. And then people came out and said, no, he's not dead. He's just on his way to the hospital. And so then later they reported when he got to the hospital, they said he was dead. And then his people came out and said, no, he's alive. He's fighting for his life. And then people retracted it, and then he died. So people had to retract like 2 different times during the day. This is a product of where we are in society, where everybody wants to be the first one to break the news.
Yeah, and nobody wants to try to maybe talk to his manager or a family member that might actually know something. At this
point, I wouldn't be surprised if one of the major entertainment media outlets went over there and pulled the plug on him. They're like, no, he's dead. Oh, he froze. All right, we're back. Yeah. And but anyway, gone way too soon. If you're not familiar with Tom Petty's work, well, I don't know how you found our show, because you are definitely not our target demographic. But welcome to the Geek Dad Report.
If you never listened to Free Fallin',
I'm free.
Had a tear come to your eye
Okay, but did you sing it the way I sing it? Because I'm free balling. Yeah.
Yeah, I would always say the free balling part.
Everybody's free balling. You know what's kind of crazy is I just watched. I've always loved Tom Petty, but it's been a while since I really listened to his music, and I watched that Defiant Ones. Remember, I think we talked about on the show a few weeks back, the Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine documentary on HBO.
Yeah, I watched it. It was really good.
Yeah, well, there's this huge part that involves Tom Petty, and you actually listen to a lot of Tom Petty's music because Jimmy Iovine produced him. And it just made me realize how much of his music that I loved, right? And just you don't even think about some of these songs are so classic that you don't even remember that they're Tom Petty, and it's the guy really influenced a generation of music, and it's too bad he definitely left us too early. So as we always say on this show, good journey, and may the force be with you.
Bye, Tom.
But speaking of force, that is a professional segue, Ryan.
Yes.
Star Wars Episode 8 is coming very soon. Not soon enough, but it's coming very soon. And how long are you going to be coming? Well, apparently about 2.5 hours. The Last Jedi is rumored to be the longest Star Wars movie yet, clocking in at a little over 2.5 hours of pure fucking awesome.
Yeah.
How excited am I for this, Ryan?
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours. I could honestly go for like 3 if it was a Star Wars movie. And I would stay for like 20 hours if it was a fucking good Star Wars movie.
Make it 10 hours. I'll fucking sit and watch it.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the few family demographics where you could pull off like a 3+ hour movie. Has anyone gone over 3? I mean, I know Batman v Superman. Didn't that one push it?
No, that was a director's cut. Even they were afraid to push a movie that long, and they cut it down a little under 2.5 hours. It's been a while since we've had a 3-hour movie. I don't even think Titanic was completely 3 hours. I think 3 hours is kind of the break mark. Like, nobody will go over 3 hours just because nobody wants to go over 3 hours.
I think wasn't one of the Lord of the Rings pretty close?
Yeah, but even those ones, they didn't do it. All the director's cuts did, but whatever. I don't care. I'm excited for it. They got a lot to cover. We got a lot of Star Wars stuff coming out. We got, apparently, Snoke is going to have all new powers that aren't really new powers. I don't know. No,
he can. It's confirmed he can force choke people.
Oh.
You know, that's never. But apparently, he could be more powerful than the Emperor.
I'm calling shenanigans on that. I mean, he could be, I guess, but still, I'm calling shenanigans on that.
I mean, it's not like the Emperor really did anything. I mean, he forced lightning some people.
Yeah, that's true. Then he got thrown down the other bit of news that we did recently hear about Snoke. So if you guys don't want any spoilers, which I don't, we're only bringing this to you because it's not really spoilers. But just do it like I've done. I've gone into my Star Wars bunker, and I'm avoiding literally anything that says, The Last Jedi may reveal. I'm not clicking on that. Fuck you. You're not tricking me. But apparently we're not going to really know who Snoke is. They're not going to reveal his real true identity, where he came from, his story, until Episode 9, which is fine, I think. I think Episode 8 has enough to cover. We don't need the Snoke reveal yet.
Oh, they'll be bringing back, JJ, right? No.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams coming back for Episode 8.
JJ June 9. So, yeah, I have faith that they'll do a good job.
Well, speaking of coming back, Battlefront 2, the new Star Wars game, is coming out in November. They just dropped a brand new trailer for it. It looks amazing. I'm going to be playing the shit out of that game. So I've told you guys a million times, ain't got no friend request yet. I'm not sure what that's all about. I mean, I'm a good Xbox player. Don't let my old man visage here. Visage? Is that even a real word? My old man exterior fool you. And shut up, Siri. Siri just turned on. I can game. I can ball. Yeah. I'm amazing.
How much hours a week do you even practice?
Well, not as much anymore because I do this show because people demand it. But I still play. I play 2-3 hours a week usually. Still, I find time to.
Lincoln.
I'll be playing Battlefront Jedi Killer 153 on Xbox Live. That's where you can find me. But it looks awesome. I think it's gonna be great.
Yeah. And Lincoln's he really wants the first Battlefront because a bunch of his friends got it. And so we're gonna get that. It's only like $20 right now on Amazon.
Dirt cheap with all the expansions. I actually have that. If you get it, we'll talk over the show. We can play. I've got it.
We'll do a Twitch feed of you can just watch Brian just shooting me all over because I'm terrible at shooting games. So
what game are we talking about?
Are we talking about Battlefront?
Yes, never mind.
That's what I was talking about.
Also, moving on, Rebels is coming back. Season 4 of Rebels comes back, I believe, next week it premieres. And they're going to do something a little different. They're going to be airing 2-episode blocks for the entire season. So we're going to get hour-long episodes, basically. Some of them are going to be two-parters, but a lot of them are just going to be standalone. I'm not really sure why they're doing it like that, but we'll be getting...
But they're usually only like 13...
Yeah, well, they're usually a half hour. They're usually your typical half-hour show, but they usually release one a week, and they're going to be releasing them 2
Yeah, but don't they? But it's like 13 total episodes, right?
I think they're going to have more than 13 episodes. I actually think we're going to get 12 or 13 weeks of double.
Well, I was just saying it's going from like a 13-week thing to like a 6 to 7 week. I mean,
yeah. Well, no, they're doing I think 6 weeks, and then they're taking a break, and then they're doing the back half. So my guess this is probably going to be a 20-episode season. But either way, I don't care. I'm excited for it. It'll be pretty awesome. Since we're on the topic of things that are coming back, apparently Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who you may know as Negan right now on The Walking Dead, also known as John Winchester, the father of Sam and Dean Winchester on Supernatural, he apparently wants to come back to the show for at least one more episode.
Did that mean that there's something might be compromised on The Walking Dead?
Well, come on, we all know Negan. Well, I think in the comic books, Negan's still alive. Spoiler alert. So,
yeah,
I should probably say spoiler alert before I give the spoil, but whatever. The comic books are different than the show. Get over it. But
Rick has one hand.
I think it's more just I've watched all 12 seasons of Supernatural, and they do deal so much with family. Recently, somebody else who was close to them came back and was on the show, so it would make sense to have him come back. Everybody who dies in this series comes back at some point, and he's the only one who really hasn't. So it'd be cool to have him come back for an episode or two, and then maybe just give him his final
Is he like their dad or something?
Yeah, he's their dad in the show. And last season was pretty cool. Last season, they did a fun little gag where... So they drive their dad's Impala, their black Impala around, and when they fight crime, the Impala's as much a part of the show as the brothers are. Well... The very beginning, they kill some vampires, and they're walking into their hideout, and they've got this bat over their shoulder. It's got barbed wire over it. And they sling it down on the table, and they're like, man, this thing's good at smashing in heads. And they're like, man, I can't believe Dad didn't tell us about this, and he just left it in the car. it's Lucille,
that's
right?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and then after the show, the actors tweeted out, and they tweeted to him, and they said, hey, Dad, we think you left something in the car. He's like, come on, I already gave you my car. You got, why you got to take my favorite bat, too? Anyway,
like,
so I think it's kind of spurred. I think it's kind of spurred some action. They want to get I think he just would like to be part of the show. It's a fun show. Anybody who's never watched Supernatural, it's a lot of seasons, but it's well worth it. It's a good show.
Okay, is it better to start from the very beginning, or can I just start watching like?
It is impossible to not start from the very beginning on this show. It is
I don't want to watch 13 fucking seasons.
I would not steer you wrong. They're 20 episodes, 22 episode season. So, but Supernatural is one of the funnest shows on television. I'm not even joking. You start watching it, you will not put it down. You could probably skip season 6 and 7, but
I'll talk to my wife. We're always looking for.
Start watching Supernatural. I believe you can get them all on Netflix. It's one of my favorite shows. It's a really good show, so check it out. Let's see here. What else we got for you guys? Also, speaking about coming back, God, everything. The name of the episode should be Came Back. Coming to America is officially getting a sequel.
Now, is it going to be... Is he still in America, or is he going back to Africa?
The show should be called Getting the Fuck Out of America.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be... Well, he can't come now because their country's been put on the
no-fly list.
Immigration watch list.
Oh,
and
God.
So now they can't immigrate here.
I'm sure that would irritate a lot of people, but that would actually be kind of a fun way to do this movie. Do it from like an immigrant's perspective about America and about trying to get out of the country.
God, I just can't tell you.
Make it like a satire.
I watched that movie the first time when my mom was gone, and she found out I've been watching it on HBO like every single time. Like she left the house, I would go and turn it on. I think I watched it like 20 times, like
it's a great
in like
movie.
a couple week period. God, I love that fucking movie.
Yeah, it's a great
so
movie.
funny.
Yeah,
I miss like 80s comedies because they could get away with so much shit that they can't get away with now.
I miss everything 80s, which is why I loved It and Stranger Things. Season 2 is coming soon, guys. A couple weeks. We will have a full review on this show. But once again, speaking of things coming back, Glass has officially started production, which is the sequel to Unbreakable and, spoiler alert, Split.
I still haven't seen Split. I don't really think I will.
I will.
But
I'm waiting for it to come on HBO or something.
So you haven't seen it at all? I thought you already saw it.
No, I haven't seen Split.
I read about a bunch about the guy from Split or the thing, whatever it is. But
no, I'll check it out.
I don't want to dive into spoilers. So.
I'm excited for Glass, though. Unbreakable was one of my favorite M. Night Shyamalan movies. And, I thought it was pretty good.
It's the best one out of them, but I don't really know. I think without seeing Split, I don't know. I gotta see Split, I guess. Then maybe I can have a better opinion on what I think about Glass.
Continuing our trend of things coming back, Ryan. Coming back. Speaking of coming back, Natalie Cordova Buckley is coming back as a season regular on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you don't know who that is, it's Yo-Yo, the Inhuman.
Yo-Yo.
In love with Mac.
I actually like her character a lot.
I like her a lot. I'm really glad they promoted her.
I always thought she was underutilized on the show.
Well, guess what? So did the showrunners. They've probably been listening to this show again.
Now,
let's see here.
I'm trying to remember. Mac... he did get out of the.
Yes, he got out of the Matrix, the mainframe.
But he was all, he
was all fucked up.
The Hydra Matrix.
All right. Well, let's see here. I'm excited for Agents of season 2. God. Oh, it's been a long week. I'm excited for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D's next season. Well, continuing our trend of things coming back, Ryan. Gambit.
We got a lot of coming.
Yeah, you know what? This is the comeback show because Gambit is officially coming back. He never really went away, but he's been put on the back burner. Well, Channing Tatum is still attached to it, and they now have a director, Gore Verbinski. The guy who directed the Pirates of the Caribbean movies is officially on board to direct the Gambit movie.
Since I have not seen the last Pirates, I haven't seen the last 2 Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so I'm not really sure how well this guy does.
Well, I just bought the last one because I heard it was good. I haven't watched it yet, so we'll talk about it next week. The one before that, I don't know other names. Pirates 4 was not good, but Pirates 1 through 3 are fun.
But I'm just because I always loved the 1990s animated version of Gambit.
Yeah.
Then that's always like in my head. That's always my version of Gambit.
Dude, I have the Gambit miniseries and on my comic books. I've got like all these Gambit comic books. I love Gambit. He was a quintessential '90s character for the X-Men.
Yeah, who didn't want to like throw something and like make it explode?
Yeah, he's great.
Cool.
He's like this kind of Frenchy, badass
Louisiana
Han Solo X-Men roguish guy. And he got Rogue. Yeah. Rogue was smoking hot in the '90s. Yeah. What'd you say, Ryan? You'll take things that are coming back for 500. All right. What is V for Vendetta?
What is V for Vendetta?
Yes, it's coming back as a TV show.
On BBC Channel 4.
Can you name all the things that V for Vendetta has been?
He has been very victorious.
No, he's been a comic book.
Through vicarious...
He's been a movie.
Victories.
He's been an Anarchy meme, and he is now going to be a television show. But the catch is, it's going to be it's being developed by a British television network called Channel 4. I don't know if that's actually a channel or the name of the network, but it's Channel 4.
I think if it's not owned by British Broadcasting or whatever, then it's like their own thing, to my understanding.
I don't know much about British television other than
all I know is like 99% of
Monty
it's
Python is really good, and I watched a lot of Red Dwarf.
Yeah,
I like that. It's a good show. But anyway, yeah, that's happening. I'm sure if it's good and popular, we'll probably get on Netflix, or they'll bring it over here somehow.
Yeah.
Hey Ryan, knock knock.
Who's there?
Guess who's coming back?
Guess who's coming back? Who?
Luke Cage is coming back for season 2, and he's bringing with him Danny Rand. We got our first look. I think Entertainment Weekly dropped our first look at Luke Cage season 2, and Danny Rand is in there, so it looks like we may be getting some Heroes for Hire after all.
Well, you kind of got to see them building a relationship in the Defenders.
Yeah, it was one of the better parts of the Defenders.
They had the good, like, Danny's going to become a more comedic part. It's going to be a slapstick buddy cop, buddy vigilante show, where Danny's going to be slinging the jokes and Luke Cage is going to punch people in the face.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
It needs to get here in a flash, Ryan.
A flash?
Why? Why, yes, I do have Flash news. Funny you should mention it. The Flash is coming back. There's a trailer out for The Flash and Green Arrow, and they both look amazing. Pew! And this guy, apparently, when Barry Allen comes back to Central City in the new season of The Flash, he's going to be like the Flash from the comic books. That's the rumor. He's got a new suit. He's going to be reborn. They're saying he's going to be recharged, whatever that means. I didn't know he was ever uncharged.
He's like the Energizer Bunny now. He's just going to have a big, huge battery in the back and going to keep going. So, wait. So, if he's going to be more like the Flash in the comics, then what's that exactly mean?
I don't know. Probably more. If you've watched the show, you know, he's always been more of Flash year one. He's used his team more. He's a hero, but he's kind of I don't know. He's an unsure hero. I think they mean like he's going to be like, I know I'm a hero. I'm the Flash. I don't know. Confident in his powers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And less whiny.
Really been confident. Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And
so,
I
think it'll be cool. I don't really care. I'm excited for Flash.
Here's another speedster bad guy.
No more speedster bad guys on the show. But anyway, well, speaking of things that are coming back, we're going to talk about a couple things that may not come back. Apparently,
this is becoming the worst segue.
I can't even think of new ways to segue it. We'll just forget the segues for the rest of this. Apparently, Robert Kirkman says people need to start preparing for the future of The Walking Dead without Rick Grimes. That it could continue. I'm going to say he's full of shit. You kill Rick Grimes, at least on TV, the show is dead.
Yeah, I don't even know if I could watch it. I mean, I might go like a couple episodes to see what it is, but Rick is what holds everything together. He's the glue.
I agree.
And
you know what else holds everything together? Batman. And you know what happens when you have a show about Batman without Batman?
It becomes not Batman-like.
You get really shitty ratings. Gotham has, season 4 has hit an all-time low for ratings, and a lot of people are thinking it will not get picked up next year.
I'm surprised it's made it this far. I mean, I made it 3-4 episodes. So I gave up. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, well, hey, you know, speaking of Gotham, and a yawn is a perfect way to go into our next story here. Amazon apparently is going full geek, universe, which is great. That's a terrible way to say it. They're going full. They're getting their geek on over at Amazon. They canceled a shit ton of their period shows or period dramas, and they've invested in 3 new comic book sci-fi series called Ringworld, which I don't know much about, Snow Crash, which I don't know much about, but I do know a lot about Lazarus, a great series from Image Comic written by Greg Rucka. about kind of a dystopian world that have these genetically modified humans that fight for them. They're split up into territories. It's a little bit like Into the Badlands, honestly, but without kung fu.
Oh, okay.
And more like Amazon women and badass people who just fuck each other up all the time. That I'm really excited about. But it's cool to see, Amazon kind of diving into this. I think they've seen the success of things like Stranger Things, the success of CW with their genre shows. Netflix is going all in on the Mark Miller universe. So it's good to see that Amazon says, hey, we got The Tick. That's about it. We want more. Yeah. We want more genre television, more sci-fi.
Yeah, and they get to see that stuff like The Expanse on Sci-Fi, like how well received a hardcore sci-fi show can be. So I think there's a lot of really good setup going on now for kind of maybe like a resurgence in sci-fi TV shows, and just kind of it seems like this is going to be the new formula. I'm fucking all for it.
Yeah, me too. No, I'm with you. It's that we've gotten some really good original programming over the last couple of years, and hopefully this will just be more of that. Lastly, we got a couple of stories for you. The first one is, I'm a huge Justice League fan. I'm a huge DC fan. I'm a huge Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman fan. I defend Batman v Superman, the director's cut, to my dying day. I will. Loved Wonder Woman. Man of Steel is one of my favorite Superman movies. But I'm starting to wonder if Warner Brothers has any idea what's going on over there.
They don't.
So, we got Justice League coming out in a few months, which is funny, actually next month, which is funny because I think Joss Whedon is still shooting the movie. So I'm not really sure exactly what's going on.
That's what I've been trying to figure out. Like, they've been doing so many, like, retakes and everything like that.
This movie's going to be so vastly different. There's rumors that this movie is, like, 6 hours worth of movie has been shot, and they're going to try and make a movie out of this. I hope that it's really good. I pray that it's really good, because if Justice League can't succeed, I don't know what can for Warner Brothers.
Other than Wonder Woman?
Yeah, Wonder Woman, which kind of leads into the story. So some of the heads over at Warner Brothers came out and said, well, I think it was Jeff Johns who came out and said, well, we're rethinking how we're gonna do this whole DC EU. Which, first of all, they came out and said, listen, we never said there was a DC extended universe. That was coined by a reporter, and people just kind of ran with it. We want our movies to be connected, but we want them to be more their own movies. We're not gonna focus on this shared universe. We're gonna focus on individual stories, right? And I think they're taking that idea from Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman, as much as it was part of the universe, was its own thing, right? But I think that kind of worked because it's a period piece. They've set up this universe that they're sharing, and everyone's so used to it that I don't think they can go back to having movies without other people in them. But I think that's what they were trying to say they were going to do. Well, then all of a sudden people came out and were like, what? What do you mean there's no shared universe? You've been setting up, Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, all these to be a shared universe, and now you're telling us there's no shared universe. Well, then they immediately came out afterwards and says, no, that's not what we meant. This is totally a shared universe.
Well, and it's something that people were addressing about how come in Wonder Woman there's not like an end credit scene.
Yeah.
They're trying to introduce like the next DC movie and stuff like that, and that's what they're trying to say, is that these movies are, they are their own thing. Well, that's why they made a conscious decision not to try and do like a Justice League tie-in or something like that. Well,
first of all, I think they need to just go media dark for the most part, because nothing they say seems to come out right or do them any favors, right? So here's what I think's going on. I think, like you said, they look at the success of Wonder Woman and say, listen, we need movies that can stand alone on their own merits and then be part of a bigger universe, right? Instead of trying to make movies that all fit together like pieces of a giant universe. But I think that came out wrong, because you can't go backwards. I mean, look what Marvel's doing. Even movies like Spider-Man has Iron Man in it. They are part of this universe, right? They aren't their own standalone things anymore. Like The Winter Soldier. The Winter Soldier is a standalone movie, but it's also intricately linked to the rest of the MCU. And it has huge ramifications for the entire story. So when you say we're just going to go do our own standalone, you can't really do that either. What they need to do is figure out a fucking plan and a direction and get together like Marvel's done and figure out stories that weave a bigger tapestry but still can stand alone. And that's when they figure that out is when their universe will really be something worth talking about, Until then, whatever. We're going to just be talking about standalone. Like, Aquaman will probably be good, but then Suicide Squad 2 will be crap. And then none of them will tie together, and then we'll be confused. So, I really hope they have it figured out. I mean, I hope it works. I love these movies, but, man, I don't know. As diehard of a fan as I am, even I'm starting to go like, oh, God, what's going on?
We'll see. I mean, I have faith that it seemed that after Batman v Superman, when they brought in Johns, and he was supposed to try and, put a little bit of range on it, kind of like the Kevin Feige kind of guy from Marvel. So it might take a couple of movies until they can try and find like their footing. But I do have a feeling that if they try and rush any of this, then they're just going to completely fall on their face. So as long as they don't try and rush it, and they need to try and take an approach that, it might piss off people, but they're going to need to try and take it slow.
First of all, they're not going to take that approach. They are rushing it. They have like 15 movies on the slate. Whatever. I don't even care if they piss people off. Just make it fucking work. Just make it fucking work, okay? Quit telling me one thing, and then when people get to you because they're mad, you say another thing. Just shut up and make it work, Warner Brothers, because I demand good DC movies. All right, last couple things we got for you guys, since I'm all fired up. Netflix is raising their prices. Fuck them. Which is bad, considering we just came on the heels of the fact that they're losing all their Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars content. Nice work. If you were paying $9.99, you will be paying $10.99, and if you were like me paying $11.99, you will now be paying $13.99. So hey, there you go. More bad news. The Punisher has been delayed. Apparently, it was in fact coming out this month, but they are pushing it back, which I think is a smart move. In I guess because not in reaction to, but because of reaction to. Basically, because of the shooting massacre that killed almost 60 Americans. That happened this week. They've decided that it'd probably not be the right time to have a show about a guy who goes and just kills people. Which, you know what, I understand anybody who's upset about this saying, come on, it's completely different. But it would be very tone deaf of them, I think, to not pay attention and just move forward with it. I think this is the right move. They're not canceling the series. We'll probably get it next month. But I do think this is probably not the time to release this series. Give it a little bit of time, and
if Netflix can get one thing right, I guess this is probably the good decision.
Yeah, anybody who's looking forward to the Punisher panel at New York City Comic Con, that's been canceled. Basically, it's not like they're ashamed of their show, but like I said, they understand that right now there's a lot of very unhappy people in this country due to gun violence, and their show, we're all excited for it, but their show is a very heavily gun-violent show. So, I'm glad they're not canceling. I'd be a little upset if they were like, we're canceling the Punisher. That just doesn't make any sense. But it's probably the right move to move it back a month or two.
Yeah, and I do want to add one thing about the Netflix changing the subscription prices. That they try to make it seem like the really positive thing that came from the last time that they upped prices was you can download the movies now. You can, and then
whatever.
And that was the last thing that came from the positive. So we'll see what the positive is that comes from this, other than new shows.
I feel like the positive is they can pay down some of their $90 billion debt so they don't go bankrupt. That's probably what it really boils down to.
Not going to happen because they're paying like $6 billion to $9 billion this year on new content. As
long as they don't go bankrupt before I get season 4, 2, 3, and 4 of Stranger Things and The Punisher, then I'm good. All right, and lastly, the last story we got for you guys is apparently George Foreman has challenged Steven Seagal to a boxing match.
Now,
why?
I
have no idea why.
George Foreman in his prime? Or
no, like
current,
right now, he wants to fight him. I think George Foreman could still knock out Steven Seagal. Have you seen Steven Seagal? Steven Seagal looks like he ate 80s Steven Seagal, and now he's like waddling around.
He looks
Steven
like
Seagal fat suit.
He's been eating a lot of butterball turkeys.
I want to see Steven Seagal and Val Kilmer fight. It'd be like a really bad sumo wrestling event. And I do totally realize I'm fat shaming these people. I do not approve of fat shaming, but these are celebrities.
Yeah.
Who are basically have always been heralded as some of the worst people in Hollywood. So, whatever. And if Steven Seagal doesn't like it, he could probably show up to my house and just judo chop me in half. So whatever.
Yeah, but I would definitely think George Foreman would probably knock the shit out of him, because Steven Seagal, he seemed like a fake martial artist always to me.
Steven Seagal seems like an asshole. And have you seen him lately? He totally dyes his hair and his beard because they're like so black. Yeah. They're not even natural. I mean, it just looks terrible. And I don't know why they're going to fight. I didn't honestly read into the story. I just saw it, and I was like, yes, this is great. We're going to talk about it. But if I had to guess, I know Steven Seagal's been coming out saying a lot of real crazy shit lately about the world and everything. So I'm guessing George Foreman's like, I'm hiding with him, and I want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, he's one of those right-wing people that needs to calm the shit down.
Yeah, whatever. Who else? But that led me to an idea, and we're not going to spend much time on it, but if you could pick a couple other people, who would you love to see get into a ring and fight?
Like people that hate each other, or just people that...
Sure. I would like to see Rosie O'Donnell fight Donald Trump. I think she would kick the shit out of him.
I would like to see Tom Brady fight...
Deflated balls.
Fight who?
Deflated balls. Speaking of Tom Brady, while you're talking, I'm going to check out my fantasy football scores here.
Let's see. I would like to see... I want to see Jean-Claude Van Damme fight Chuck Norris. But it has to be blood sport style. And who else would be a good fight? I want to see Russell Wilson fight a bear. That'd be good.
Russell Wilson would
a real life bear.
Russell Wilson would win. I would like to see Ben Roethlisberger fight a bar of soap because his greasy ass doesn't know what the hell that is. Ever seen that guy? Just looks all nasty.
He's been fucking throwing like shit all fucking year.
If he took a shower, he wouldn't stink so bad. Every time he lifts his arm, he almost like knocks himself out from the smell because he's a damn caveman. I like to see Ben Roethlisberger fight a book. I don't think he's ever read one, so he wouldn't know what to do with it. He'd just be like, "Oh no, what's going on?" I'd like to see Aaron Rodgers fight with the mustache trimmer.
I want to see what's his name? Like Conor McGregor. I want to see him fight who's someone else in the sports world? Alex Rodriguez. I want to see him fight Alex Rodriguez and just beat the shit.
George Lucas.
Yeah.
I would like to see George Lucas fight Bob Iger from Disney. I would like to see you fight this poor grind, and whoever wins is the new co-host.
I want to see young Indiana Jones fight old Indiana Jones. Just to see what happens.
I want to see... I want
to see Will Smith. I'm trying to think of someone that people just be crying
I want to see Sean Connery fight Clint Eastwood.
Ooh, that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
How about Will Smith against, because he did the boxing Ali movie, against,
I want to see him fight Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black, and then I'm pretty sure Tommy Lee Jones would probably just crush him because he looks like a crazy old man.
Yeah, you just go crazy old man on him.
There we go. I would like to see Brian West fight Bryan Singer.
Ooh, the Battle of the Bryans. That'd be a good one.
Destroy him. But you know what? Funny you mentioned Bryan Singer, Ryan. That leads us to our last segment of the night. I don't know if it's the last segment, but our main segment of the night. I guess that's more appropriate. We are going to talk about and do a little review of, me and Ryan watched this week's The Gifted on Fox. And we decided you guys have been asking us about it, so we figured we'd talk about it a little bit and give you our impressions of the new X-Men-ish show from Fox.
Well, they mentioned the X-Men and the Brotherhood. And that's about all that you get
There were a couple of Easter eggs that I want to talk about, but before we dive into that stuff, overall impression, what did you think about the show? Anybody? Wait a minute. Before I get your impression, if you guys haven't watched The Gifted, this is going to be mostly spoiler free, but we are going to talk about some of the things. If you don't know what it's about, basically it's about a family who finds out their kids are mutants in a world that doesn't like mutants, and they have to go on the run. So the kids aren't imprisoned in the mutant internment camps. And that's kind of what this show's about. It's in the X-Men universe, but the X-Men aren't here, like Ryan said. There are other mutants. There's just not, Wolverine, Cyclops, Professor X in this universe, at least not right now. And that's kind of what this
just assume that like all the mutants that are pretty much dead.
Yeah. Well, they're not dead. They're just not there. They haven't really said what's happened to them. There are a few mutants we do know. The leader, I don't know who that was. I don't recognize him at all. But we did have Polaris, who is on sometimes not, the daughter of Magneto. She was the girl that had some magnetic powers. We had Warbird, who was the tracker. He was also in, I think it was Warbird. He was also in the X-Men Days of Future Past, and we had Blink, who was also in Days of Future Past. She was the girl who could teleport. So there are some characters that are from the comic book. So if you're a big X-Men fan, you will recognize some of these characters. But the family, the Struckers, there are Struckers in the Marvel Universe, but I do not think they're going to tie into this family, at least not too directly. The son and the daughter, new characters to the mutant universe, both with pretty cool powers. But what did you think of the show? What was your overall impressions?
I was pretty impressed, honestly. Mm-hmm. I kind of came in with low expectations just because
real low expectations.
It didn't seem like these kind of shows that coming from Fox and stuff like that were going to kind of roll out, as smoothly that I was kind of hoping for. But I was very surprised. I really liked the story that they have, that they're setting up. I like the actors. I like the way that they did the mutant powers.
Yeah. Well, the family especially. I really liked the family. I really bought into them as a family unit. And their powers were something a little different.
I like the dad's reasoning for changing his whole mindset and everything. And he wasn't like a complete dick, in the very beginning. Like he kind of, seemed like he did a good job. They did a good job of, without
knowing him too much, buying his kind of 180 on his stance, right? He loved his family above all, even though he was... And they did a good job of showing, like, even though he was hard on mutants, he was very sympathetic towards them, right?
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. I actually really enjoyed this. I did not have high expectations. We've talked many times on the show how my feelings towards Bryan Singer and what they've done with the X-Men universe. Fox as well. I did like Legion, but this is being done by somebody completely different. And on top of it, Bryan Singer directed the pilot, which... there was some signs that Bryan Singer directed the pilot. From the black leather vest that Warbird kept wearing. Don't know why he's wearing that. Probably because Bryan Singer has a thing for black leather. But, and occasionally things felt very... I'm not going to say cheap, but they didn't feel... I mean, there was times the show, the special effects looked amazing most of the time. And then occasionally they just would look really bad. And I'm not really sure what that's going on. And Bryan Singer, there's a few moments where I didn't like, and this is just, picking hairs. Like, for instance, the Bryan Singer thing of whenever a mutant is going to use their powers, they have to grandstand. They have to come out of wherever they're hiding, do a slow walk towards whoever they're going to, destroy. And then in this, burst of, doesn't matter what their powers is, they're going to throw their hands up and they're usually going to scream. And then there's going to be a big display of power, and then they're immediately going to be taken down with a taser or a beanbag gun or something stupid.
Yeah.
And we saw that.
Just, coughs on them.
Yeah, we saw that happen here. We did not see it happen as much. I thought the family, the way they use their powers was much more natural than what Bryan Singer usually does. But, for the love of God, if you can control, it's a little bit of spoiler, but if you can control metal, Polaris, why do you need to leave? The cops are shooting at you. Why do you need to leave your position where you can't be shot to go stand in the middle of the road to use your power? You can hide behind the car that you were hiding and still use your powers. like I said, I'm not a big fan
Yeah.
of the way Bryan Singer does stuff because he always wants to make a spectacle out of using their powers. When in reality, if you're a mutant, your power is as normal to you as, brushing, peeing. And you're not going to be like, I have to pee now. You're not going to stand up in the middle of the room, whip out your dick, and just pee everywhere. No, you're going to get up, go use the bathroom, and not make a big deal out of it because you've been doing it your whole goddamn life. And anyway, sorry. Some of my problems with Bryan Singer.
Well, that was my thing too. It's like if you, especially with the power of magnetism, that you can control metal.
Yeah.
You do not need to go stand into a big, huge open space.
Which is my only complaint with her character. She actually, I really liked, like you said, I really enjoyed all the characters in this. And in fact, if anything, I think is going to drive this and make me really excited to continue to watch it, is the actors do a really good job of making you believe what they're going through and makes you really drawn into wanting to know more about the story. So, the parts that didn't work for me were actually when they tried to tie it into the X-Men universe. The things that worked really well is when they just forgot about the X-Men universe and just lived in the world that they were in. I mean, I love the throwbacks to the Sentinel. The Sentinels. They have the Sentinel Squad. That's like the mutant police. I like how they have little mini Sentinels. Anybody who's familiar with Days of Future Past, the comic book, this series could easily be a lead-in to that storyline, and that's actually really exciting. That's a really cool storyline, and this is like the early days of that, and it ties in really well to the comic books. I wish they would just, Bryan Singer, fuck your X-Men universe. Let's just get rid of it. Let's pretend like that never even happened, and let's make the Gifted part of the comic book universe, and just go with that. And I think it'd be really cool.
Did the Underground's hideout seem kind of like it was Professor Xavier's school for gifted children?
Not so much. I got more of the...
It kind of felt like they were using like a mansion or something.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's talk a little bit about the kind of calls, the call outs to the movies and the comic books. There was a lot of Easter eggs in this. Most of them weren't heavy-handed, so I didn't mind them too much. I love the ringtone that was the old X-Men 90s music. And I thought that was cool.
Yes.
I like that the dad, when he's sitting at the bar, the mutant bar, when they're walking in, all the letters are phased out except for the X, and he sits right behind this giant picture of a Wolverine.
Oh, I didn't see that. I gotta rewatch that.
So that was kind of cool. To your point, when they were in their mutant hideout, the leader was in a vault that had a big X on the door that was swung open. So, I mean, that was a little on the nose, but...
I thought he was going to be going into cerebral. How do you say it?
Cerebral.
Yeah, cerebral. So, but we'll see. I mean, I'll keep watching. I'm definitely going to. I'll probably watch for the whole season.
I'm definitely. Don't let the things about that I didn't like. Those are more just frustrations. Overall, I thought this was a really well done. First episode for a series. It left room to grow. It made me want to see more about these characters. Mm-hmm. And, the things that didn't work can easily be fixed going forward.
Yeah.
And I love the family. I love the new powers that the girl... I love the power that the girl had. That's a power we haven't seen in an X-Men movie or show. And I really liked the way that worked. And the brother, they're really setting him up to be a very powerful, alpha level mutant, which is kind of cool, which leads you to, and because those two, that's why I liked them so much. There's no history behind them. There's no characters that they have to force into something. They're giving us new characters that we can kind of invest our time with and kind of maybe watch grow and get excited about. Yeah. So overall, I'd probably give this series a solid 8 out of 10 so far. The pilot, really, I liked it. I didn't expect to your point, and it was really enjoyable. I'm really excited to see where the show goes.
Yeah, I agree. It's a solid 8 out of 10. It's definitely worth putting your time into it. So.
And the best part is if they can't fix some of the mutants that are the underground that we don't really like that much, you could just kill them and bring in new ones because it's the X-Men universe and there's lots of mutants everywhere.
Yeah, there's shit piles of mutants. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I did like how the one guy had like the fire power, and then when he got shot, like fire was leaking out of his body. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
So there's definitely some stuff to watch. If you guys are on the fence, you can watch it on demand right now for the first episode. I think some of the problems I don't like are going to get fixed because Bryan Singer's only directing the pilots. I think some of these actually could get better without his direction in it. But no, I'm excited. Definitely, me and Bryan are in agreement. The Geek Dad Report recommends The Gifted on Fox. Monday nights at 9 o'clock. Check it out. Very good. All right, moving on. Faithful 50. What do we got? I think we only got a couple.
We had 2 questions last I saw. Let me do a quick refresh. Just to make sure. Nope, still 2. All right, so David from Washington, he wants to know, what is your favorite thing about Halloween and the greatest costume ideas? I think my favorite thing about Halloween, honestly, now, it's just going out with my kids for trick-or-treating and then quickly letting them eat like a couple of snacks, and then when they get to bed, just fucking dive in and get like all like the good shit while they're sleeping on that first night, and so they don't really know what they have. And then,
you're kind of a shitty dad. That's fucked up.
No.
My favorite thing about Halloween is usually I can get my wife to wear a sexy little outfit. That's my favorite thing about Halloween, and then I go out and I grope her all night. It's amazing.
So, what is your favorite costume that you've ever had?
Let's see here. Well, real quick. Halloween, my favorite thing about Halloween, besides the skimpy little outfits I can get my wife to wear, are honestly, it's just fun to dress up, man. It's your one time as an adult. You can kind of really be a kid again. You can go to Halloween parties, they're fun, and there's something kind of fun about like we freeze. There we go.
My daughter wants me to dress up with her.
What?
My daughter wants me to dress up with her as a costume partner because she wants to be Batgirl from the superhero girls. Because she likes the hoodie cool. Costume, and that's from the DC superhero girls. And then she wants me to be Batman.
Oh, that's cool. That'll be fun.
Which I'm like,
I like costumes like that. I've had a what did I have? I dressed up as the Mad Hatter a couple years ago. Was a pretty cool. I did the whole thing. When I dress up, I'll do makeup, everything. I'll do the whole thing. So I did that one year. That was pretty cool. I did. My wife went as Alice, sexy Alice. Yeah. One year we went as Dorothy and the Scarecrow. I was the Scarecrow and she was sexy Dorothy.
I sent the theme here, Brian.
I tried to get her last year. I was trying to go as Kylo and she could go as sexy Rey. But she didn't go for that, so we'll see. My favorite costumes are anything that you could really lose yourself in, right? Where you can kind of take on the character a little bit. Like when I was doing the Mad Hatter, I was actually acting like the Mad Hatter, which is just kind of the way I am. But any costume that you can put on where you lose yourself in that costume a little bit, at least for a couple hours while you're pretending to be that character, those are my favorite character costumes. Yeah. As far as the greatest costume ideas, I saw an elderly couple. It was online. The husband was dressed as a pickle, and the mother was dressed as a deer. So when you put them together, they were a dill-doe.
Ooh. That's a good one.
That is some next level shit right there. When you come up with stuff like that, that is very impressive.
When you make people have to go to that next level of thinking, then you know you did a good job.
Yeah, so I like any costume. I love theme costumes. So if you're going with a friend or a couple, I like when you can put them together. So like, I would love we could go as the Wonder Twins one year. That'd be cool. Powers combined. Stuff like that, that to me is a lot of fun when you do group themed costumes. Those are my favorite kind.
Well, and just people know that if you're going to do a group thing with Brian, apparently one person has to be the sexy something. Yeah. So.
Ryan, so if me and you go trick or treating, I hope you got something sexy to wear. Hey.
I'll be sexy Batman. You can be Superman.
What? All right, moving on. Thank you, David, for your question. It's a very good Halloween-themed question. Appreciate that.
We have one from Jeff, and he says, you go to a barbecue. You can only have 3 foods on your plate. What do you go for? Let's assume this is one of those barbecues where someone's just fucking grill master.
Okay, everything's
and they got everything.
Option. So let's pick a meat, a side, a meat and a couple sides. So what would you have as your meat?
At a barbecue?
Yes.
I'm going to go with a bone-in ribs.
I'm going with a goddamn T-bone steak, a big one.
I'm thinking like this is like a big fun bar. If this is like a bar where I'm just cooking something and I'm just going to sit on the table
anything.
and eat
Pick
it.
your meat. Well, I'm going to go
Okay.
since you clearly didn't hear the
Well,
rules
I'm
of
still
our
staying
engagement.
with ribs because I fucking love a big rack of ribs.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
See
ribs.
side.
No, I'm sorry. I'm a steak and potatoes guy. I'm gonna go big ass steak, a potato, and then as my third side, a fucking giant piece of apple pie with ice cream on top because that is one food. Boom.
That is one food. I'm going for my side. It's going to be a nice rack of barbecue ribs with shitloads of sauce on it because I like to sauce ribs.
Oh.
Then I'm going to go with my grandma's potato salad.
Ooh.
The fucking best potato salad in the goddamn world.
Uh-huh.
And then I like a good, there's this place near us called Fat Jack's, the barbecue place. And they do a baked beans, but it's got like jalapeno and stuff like in it. So it's like spicy barbecue baked beans. Oh, so good.
That's like butt on fire dish.
Oh, it's the best. And then when you're pooping out, just fucking shooting it.
All right, well, thank you, Jeff. That's a really good question. Very thoughtful. If you guys have a favorite dish that you would choose, if you could only choose three of them, we'd love to hear from you. Throw it in the comments or hit us up and let us know. And so thanks, Jeff and David. Appreciate it. You guys are the best.
Yeah. So I was just double checking there was no other questions.
Nope, didn't have any more. So we'll just that's all right. We got 2 solid ones tonight, and that's all we need. Sometimes, Ryan, less is more. That's all I'm gonna say about that. To everybody else, though, you guys are just slacking. Get your shit together. All right, moving on. Finally, recommendations. What you should or shouldn't waste your time doing this week. Ryan, as always, would you like to go?
I think that you should be watching, everyone out there. You need to start watching the Orville. Now, if you don't know what this is the Seth MacFarlane TV show that's on Fox. It's basically like if you took Star Trek and you added in like a good splash of comedic element to it, it's a fucking awesome show. It's exactly the kind of show that I would rather watch this than the new Star Trek show. I haven't watched the new Star Trek show.
Yeah, you don't have to pay $6.99 for it.
Yeah, but I don't know what it's about. It's not like overly doing it with the comedic element. Like there's still like some good like sci-fi stuff in it. They do bring in like a lot of like modern day. Like he had the Kermit the Frog on his desk in the last episode, and this guy's like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's Kermit." And he's like, "Is that like a hero on your planet or something?" Like. He's kind of a hero to me, and stuff like that. And
it's got a lot of the Seth MacFarlane inside jokes.
Yeah, and they got they do some lot of like modern day pop culture references and stuff like that. Even though it's supposed to be like 500 years in the future, so it's just a really funny show. If you like if you like Star Trek and you kind of want like a funnier version of Star Trek,
kind of like Galaxy Quest a little bit.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly how I would put it. I didn't even think about that.
All right, so I would say it's like a show, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's really good. Seth MacFarlane is doing a really great job. I love the crew. So it's a great show, and it kind of seems it's like a more realistic kind of like they swear, they drink. One guy like drinks beer. And he like goes flying.
So you can get the first few episodes on demand on Fox?
I've been watching them on Hulu. They have all the episodes, but I think you can catch the first 3 at least on demand. So.
All right. Well, there you go. Check out Orville. I will definitely be checking it out on demand. I have not watched it yet, but I've heard good things. And Ryan recommends it.
Don't miss it.
So you should totally check it out. All right. For my review today, I'm going with the new iPhone. The iPhone 8, everybody. I broke down and bought it. I was going to get the X, but I'm hearing rumors that they are going to have massive supply issues, and you may not get one until February. So I said to hell with it. I switched to networks. I got rid of Sprint, went to Verizon. Paying a lot more, but hey, their service is amazing. It's weird having LTE everywhere. So strange. I didn't even know you could do that. And I went ahead and bought the best phone they have available as of right now. I bought the iPhone 8 Plus, the 250 gig version, the big one, because I have a lot of music from the 80s that I like to carry with me. Anyway, let's check out that box. It's a very pretty box. Should be for as much as this thing costs. But anyway, here you go. Here's the phone. Look at that. Got a cool screensaver. Look at that bad boy right there. As you can see, this thing is super thin.
Yeah.
Waterproof. Doesn't have a microphone port as advertised, but you do get this little dangly thing that comes with it. So if you're like, I want to listen to my headphones, well, Apple loves their danglies, so you just plug it in there, and then you can. So everything goes through the lightning port. That's partly because it's now waterproof, so you can't have headphone jacks. But let's be honest, everyone has Bluetooth now, so quit crying. But anyway, it's an iPhone. If you love iPhones, you're gonna love this phone. The few things I can say so far of using it, look how fast it is. Use Touch ID and boom. Immediately goes right up. This thing is the most Touch ID. So I had the 6S before. This thing is massively more responsive to fingerprints than my last one was. It's got the A10 or A11 Bionic chip. Thing just screams. It's super fast. It transfers from apps. I mean, whatever. I could show you all that crap. It's an iPhone. You know how to use an iPhone. You've seen an iPhone.
How's the battery?
So, that is a couple things I do want to talk about. There's two things on this that is amazing, the features. One is the battery. I've heard this has a much updated battery, but they all say that until you actually use them. Right now, if you can see, I'm about 13%. The reason why I'm at 13%, though, is because I woke up this morning at 5:30, unplugged it, used it all day long. Heavily. Google Maps, Apple Maps, Facebook, games, you name it, videos. All day long I use this thing, and I have yet to charge it. It is 9 o'clock my time. This thing has been off the charger for 16 hours, and I have used 87% of the battery. No charge.
That's pretty damn good.
And that's with a large screen that I do not have the dim set down. I do not have the auto dim on. It's a cool thing about it, if you get the big phone, it can go sideways like that. Isn't that kind of cool? Look at that. But it's massively responsive. You know, it's all the things you come to love about iPhone. I haven't had a chance to use this yet, but as you can see, the back is glass for the wireless charging. And the camera on this thing, they touted the camera is amazing. They did not lie. The camera in this thing is absolutely just what it does at night with the flash. I took some pictures with the lights off, and you could not tell there was no lights on.
Oh, wow. That's
and not just
crazy.
that, you know, you normally take a picture and it's kind of you could see it, but it's kind of grainy, especially if you zoom in. This one you could zoom in and you couldn't see a single grain. The camera in this is absolutely amazing. It is worth the upgrade just for the camera alone. The screen, I got a cool little picture of the world there. It's a 1080 high def screen. It works. It's really nice. But the camera, as you can see, though, is not flush against the right here. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's not flush against the back, so you definitely want to get a case. I picked up this bad boy right here, reinforced plexiglass, scratchless, double layered, but it does not add much onto the actual size of the phone, because moving from a regular size to a plus, I didn't want to have a ginormous phone, but it's not bad at all. So anyway, only had it for a few days. Haven't had a chance to put it through the complete ringers, but already I'm very impressed with what I've already gotten. It's super fast. The screen's amazing. The battery lasts literally all day long with heavy use. And the camera is the best I've ever seen in a cell phone. So now, that being said, I'm not comparing it. I've never had a Google phone. I know there's lots of different phones out there. But this is the best iPhone camera I've used so far. I know the X is coming out here in a month, supposedly. We'll see. I'm not going to have one, so we won't review it. But when one of my friends gets it, I'll put it up against this bad boy and see what it does. But if you're on the fence and you're not sure if you should upgrade, it's up to you if you want to. But if you were at a 6 or a 6S, I would highly recommend the iPhone 8 Plus. And if you're afraid of the size, don't be. It's not that bad. It fits in your hand. It'll fit where you want it to. All right. Well, do you have anything else, Ryan, you'd like to add?
No. What's that?
Do you have anything else you want to add to the show, or would you like to just tell everybody where they can find us?
I think if people want to try and find us, they can find us on Twitter at the Geek Dad Report. You can find you at Brian West 53, and I'm Big Bruiser. We are on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, and you can also listen to us and watch us on podhell.com. So please go to Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, subscribe, like, give us stars, ratings, and most importantly, we just want to hear from you. Leave a comment.
Yes.
If we suck, tell us we suck. We are really kind of waiting for like that out of like
You're waiting
the
for
blue.
that.
We don't want one of our friends, because we know if one of our friends saying it, you'd be a dick. But we want like someone just to come out and say we suck. So,
Brian,
we just want to talk to you guys.
You're the
And
worst.
we hope that you will leave a message, and we'll get back to you.
I will
So
finish what you
please
started.
go find us.
I will finish what you started, grandfather.
What?
Yeah, and you know what? And we will always respond to you guys. In fact, this week we actually had a new listener reach out, said he found the show, reached out to me personally through our different social media. So I'd like to give a shout out to Jesse. Thank you for watching the show. Thanks for being part of it, and thanks for reaching out and telling us how much you love it. We do, trust me, we do appreciate it more than you guys know. So if you're new to the show or you think to yourself, yeah, right, Brian and Ryan will never respond, that's not true. We totally will. If you guys reach out to us, we will always interact with you guys. We love talking to you guys, and we do this because we love it. We don't get paid for it, at least not yet, and we're always here for you guys. Also, side notes, iTunes has not been updated in a while because Ryan does that, and he's not unpacked, so hopefully we'll get that back up and rolling again real soon. We have not forgot about all our iTunes subscribers.
I put up 4 episodes, but for some reason it's not catching, so I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
But we will get that back up. Also, check out our our Crapper Craptastic. We got a new one coming, and every week, as long as the NFL is playing, I will be doing our Geek Dad Report versus the NFL. We are going to start having some guest people on, so watch out for that. And like I said, everyone who watched this, thank you very much. And if you're new, if you're old, I don't care how you found us or why you watch us. We appreciate you guys, and always stay awesome, motherfuckers.
Stay nerdy, everyone.
Till next week, adios.
Bye.